and welcome to News Now on TV360. I'm Thelma Okoro. The United Nations says it needs about $1.5 billion to address massive humanitarian crisis in the Lake Chad region in 2017. According to the Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, over 10.7 million people in the region need humanitarian support, with about 8.5 million of them living in northeastern Nigeria. The Borno state capital of Maiduguri is one of the cities worst affected by the Boko Haram insurgency. The sect has carried out several attacks in that region, killing thousands and displacing more than 2 million others. The Nigerian army has given over 400 million naira to 197 families of slain soldiers. The money presented in checks was issued under the Group Life Assurance Scheme of the service. Most of the soldiers lost their lives in the fight against insurgency in the northeastern part of the country. While presenting the money, the army urged the families to ensure the benefit is used properly. Still on our top stories now, a coalition of Niger Delta militants have threatened to blow up major South African investments here in Nigeria if the federal government fails to shut down them within a month. Among the businesses listed are DSTV, MTN, ShopRite, and 16 others. The militant groups were reacting to xenophobic attacks on Nigerians and their businesses in South Africa. They have also given a one-month ultimatum to South Africans living in Nigeria to leave the country. The Nigerian Labour Congress has demanded more action from the South African government to stop the recent attacks on foreigners in the country. In a statement issued, the NLC praised the South African government for condemning the attacks, but urged the government to go beyond that. The NLC is asking the government to investigate, prosecute and sanction persons, groups or individuals that might have played any role in attacks on foreigners. It also condemned a quote attributed to the mayor of Johannesburg, blaming foreigners for crimes and asking them to leave South Africa. Nigeria's acting president, Yemi has visited Akwa Ibom State for peace talks in the Niger Delta region. The acting president's visit to Akwa Ibom follows previous visits to Bayelsa, Delta and Imo State. The visits are part of efforts to strike a peace deal with the stakeholders in the region to stop pipeline attacks. Nigeria depends on oil exports for as much as 70% of government revenues. Just recently, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Ibe Kachiku, said the rate of pipeline attacks have reduced, boosting oil production to 2.1 million barrels per day. Chairman of the Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption, Itse Sage, has accused the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, of being reckless with funds meant for development. Sage says the commission recently bought 70 cars, including 8 Super Lexus Jeeps at 78 million naira each and 10 Land Cruisers, each costing 63 million naira. Sage also took a swipe at the Nigerian Customs Service, saying nothing had changed in the service since the current administration came on board in May 2015. The Nigerian military has pledged its continuous support to President Muhammadu Buhari. Minister of Defense Mansoudan Ali made the pledge during a meeting of the security chiefs with the acting president, Yemi Osinbajo, in the presidential villa in Abuja. President Buhari has been on medical vacation in London since January this year. The Nigerian Senate has confirmed Justice Walter Onogen as the new Chief Justice of Nigeria. The Senate confirmed Onogen after he completed his screening exercise. Onogen now becomes the first Southerner to be named as Chief Justice of Nigeria since 1987. During his screening exercise, he promised to tackle corruption, ensure transparency in the judiciary, and build a closer working relationship with the National Assembly. A federal high court in Abuja has struck out 6 of the 11 charges leveled against the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, and 3 others. The judge, Justice Binta Nyako, struck out the charges related to management of an unlawful organization, intention to manufacture bombs, and improper importation of radio transmitters.
The court struck out count 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, and 11.
6 counts.
There are 6 counts out of 11 count charge. So 5 still stands now. So, and in view of by virtue of section 217 of the ACJI, the defendants were asked to take fresh plea to the counts or third charge. That has been done, and it also presupposes by virtue of that section of the law that the entire proceedings will start afresh. And you have heard me when I made that application before the court that all being the ruling delivered on the application for secret trial should also be revisited. It cannot stand again. And we intend also to file an application for their bail, because I can see now it's only 5 count charges standing against them. 3 against my defendant, my client, 2 against the first 2, the second to 4th defendants. And we must also commend the judge industry and also Courage for coming up with such a ruling. We are very grateful.
Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has signed the Environmental Management and Protection Bill into law. He expressed optimism that it would go a long way to secure the public health safety of residents, most especially children. He says it's disturbing to see that hygiene-based diseases remain on the rise in Lagos State.
When we assumed office just about, let's say, 20 months ago, it was glaring to us that we needed to make determined efforts towards water, sanitation, and hygiene. It was disconcerting that dysentery and other pandemics were on the rise with serious implications for our public health expenditure. I had a choice, either to allow us to excessively on treating preventive hygiene-based diseases or tackle the root cause of the problem. The major motivating factor outside of the financial burden this issue was putting on the state was the fact that the greatest casualties of this needless situation are actually our children. We needed to address it immediately with a comprehensive mix of measures. We identified our major environmental laws were out of date and based on obsolete information. They no longer apply to our present day conditions.
The Nigerian Defense and Police Officers' Wives Association, DEPOA, has paid a humanitarian visit to the Abuja School for the Handicapped. National President of the association and the wife of the country's Chief of Defense Staff, Omobolanle Olonishakin, led the delegation.
The visit provides an avenue for us to empathize with the children and residents of this facility, to show them love, and provide some humanitarian gifts as a token in support of the efforts of the management of this school. To everyone here present, I want to encourage you that every effort counts, no matter how small and insignificant it may seem. Just do something, and do something good to make a difference in other people's lives.
We have Down syndrome, we have cerebral palsy, we have learning challenges. Some of them with different, we have physical handicap due to polio and other things. So we have so many of them. And then we have some of them that are having problems. They are of age. You can see we have about 45. We have about 45, about 2 of them. One is Shein and the other one Benedita. And this type of children, you know, they cannot do anything on their own. Some of them, they cannot feed by themselves. Thank you for coming to our aim. As you can see them, you think they are having problems, but if you come here, you are interacting with them, they are very jovial. They are friendly people.
You brought for us. May the Lord Almighty God bless you all in Jesus' name.
Mr. John! Mr. John! What is it now?
What is it now?
Please turn down the volume of your music. It's too loud.
And how is that your business?
It is disturbing me. I can't sleep.
And the same way you are disturbing my right to good music and where I enjoy it. Eh? What's wrong with you? You didn't have person complaining.
Maybe we thought that you have lost your mind. Are you having a party?
I'm just respecting you, sir. You remember I paid my husband too.
You will not understand why we are complaining because you do not care about other people except yourself. Look, the transformation we need in this country begins in this compound.
Yes, now.
From you, and I. This your selfishness is an offshoot of corruption. And corruption not in my country. Oh, you know, go to your bank. Go.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back to News Now. Up next, we have business news. Fidelia is standing by.
Thank you, Thelma. Nigeria's central bank says it plans to sell dollars through a book building process to clear a backlog of dollar demand for companies importing machineries, airline equipment, and petroleum products. The Apex Bank, however, did not say how much it would offer at the sale. Meanwhile, the Naira was quoted at 3.15 on the interbank market on Thursday, while on the black market, the currency exchanged at 4.55 against the US dollar. South Africa's MTN chairman says accusation that telecoms giant moved funds illegally out of Nigeria had no basis. MTN is facing an investigation by Nigerian lawmakers for reportedly moving $14 billion between 2006 and 2016. However, South African company MTN has denied any wrongdoings. Oil company ENI, also known as Ajib Exploration Limited, says transactions leading up to the auction of Malibu oil block were not fraudulent. According to ENI, an independent U.S. law firm had conducted forensic investigations into the block and returned a not guilty verdict. The company has been charged by Nigeria's Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) and has been ordered to forfeit the oil block to the Nigerian government. ENI has, however, appealed that decision. Oil prices fell on Thursday after US crude stocks hit an all-time high. Brent crude was down 50 cents to trade at $55.86 a barrel, while US crude was equally down 50 cents, trading at $55.33 a barrel. Crude oil prices slipped after the release of Russia's oil output, which was unchanged in February from January at 11.11 billion barrels a day. However, prices remain supported by evidence of OPEC production cuts designed to reduce oversupply that has weighed on prices for more than 2 years. Well, that's all on business. Thelma will be back with more stories. Stay tuned.
Corruption not in my country.
How work?
Oh, correct, Oga.
What is it that you are doing?
Oga, they come out the part now. Make we go sell for.
Oga, na correct kuza be this o. Oga Titus and him boys them. They do am. They go come out the original parts, sell them, make plenty kuza. No wonder our customers bring the generator back to our workshop because they bad. And not because of stuff. Now because they overuse the generator. Plus say NEPA no they give them electricity. Before I open my eye, Makachuku look at my talk in the heaven. Replace this original generator parts back inside this generator of my customer. In short, before we do am, front jump. One, front jump. 1, 2, 1. Stealing of generator parts or changing of original parts to a fake one. That is the corruption. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. Egypt's former president Hosni Mubarak denied involvement in the killing of protesters during the 2011 uprising that ended his 30-year rule of Egypt. Mubarak's final retrial in the case began on Thursday. He was originally sentenced to life in prison in 2012 for conspiring to murder 239 demonstrators, sowing chaos and creating a security vacuum during an 18-day revolt which began in January 2011. But an appeals court ordered a retrial. Sudanese president has named his first vice president and long-term ally, Hassan Saleh, to the newly created post of prime minister. The move is a clear sign that he intends for him to take over the country one day. It will be the first time Sudan has had a prime minister since Omar Hassan al-Bashir came to power in a 1989 Islamist and military-backed coup. Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode says his administration is ready to develop the National Stadium in Lagos. According to the governor, reviving the stadium will help Lagos create job opportunities. The governor took an inspection tour with Sports Minister Solomon Dalong and NFF President Amaju Pinnick. The governor also commended the Sports Minister for leading the move to hand over the stadium in Surulere to Lagos State.
We need a technical person below you who can now fill in this gap, because we need some technical information at this stage. It's very, very important. We're not just here for a political visit. You understand me? This is not a political visit. I told His Excellency that if it is a political visit, you should forget about it. We are here to address a challenge. We want to solve a problem for posterity. He's not doing it because he's somebody, I'm Solomon. But we want to correct the history of facilities management in Nigeria.
We're going to use tourism, we're going to use entertainment and arts and sports to drive youth employment and drive excellence. So this is just one chapter in that roadmap to growing the GDP of Lagos. If people don't really understand it, we cannot fold our arms and leave this monument to just waste away like that. The last match that was played there was almost like 15 years ago, but the truth is this: the inner key to youth empowerment and youth employment is actually in re-establishing this edifice to its real world-class standard. And then you have layers of employment by younger ones, and even to create family bonding. I want to also say that we would like to thank Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari, who had graciously approved that the Ahmadu Bello Stadium should be given to Kaduna State. It's already been done. They had also graciously approved that Enugu Stadium be given to Enugu State. Also the same thing with Calabar Stadium. So what we ask for is not as if we are being aggressive. We just think that we need to stand up for leadership here and take over the National Stadium here in Lagos. Those that have actually always wanted to develop clubs will allow that to happen maybe before the end of the year or next season, and then we'll put something up, a framework that works. But beyond football, you know, the stadium is also for other sports, athletics, swimming, basketball, and then family sports.
Nigerian international Victor Moses has signed a new 2-year contract with Chelsea. Moses, who joined Chelsea in 2012, is currently enjoying his breakthrough season after adapting to his new role as right-wing back. His form in the position has helped Chelsea to the top of the Premier League table. The new contract extends his stay at the Stamford Bridge till 2021. Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola says he is disappointed with Luis Enrique's decision to leave Barcelona at the end of the season. The former Barcelona manager says he appreciates the work Enrique has done in Barcelona, but is saddened by his quick exit. Enrique on Wednesday announced his decision to leave Barcelona at the end of the season. Speaking at a post-match press conference, the former Roma and Celta Vigo boss says he would step down because he needs to rest. His contract is due to expire in June this year. Well, that's it on News Now. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Thelma Okoro.